Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Spring Fever with me, XFL Jim, joined by the man himself. It is Uncle Rico. It is Eric, my dude. What's up?
What up, brother? How you doing, my man?
Dude, we're a week and a half away
How you feeling right now? You nervous?
of
You
the
tight?
XFL starting. I have been tense. I have been nonstop, just tensed up for the last month since February started. Once we entered the month of February, I'm like, we're getting XFL this year. Boom. Boom. I'm a new man. I'm 29 now. I had a birthday last week.
How was the
Feeling good.
festivities, man? How was the festivities?
It's on a Wednesday, which sucks. It's literally a week from today. Like a week prior to today. And it was something. I passed out in my garage.
There you go.
So,
There you go. Heated garage, or
I'm getting over some sniffles. I was sick as shit Sunday.
probably because you slept in the garage.
I mean, probably didn't help. That delayed effect of the garage.
Okay,
You get damage over time.
respect.
But we're in spring fever. We're here to break down the Orlando Guardians roster. We're going to talk some USFL schedule. We're going to talk. The USFL and XFL have a little overlap, and
Yep.
it's not just with the schedule. Because also, I'm just going to start off with this: Ryan Willis dropped by the Battlehawks. He got picked up, boy. He got picked up. He's on the showboats now.
Little Memphis showboats, dude. Look at that, dude.
Memphis
They can move.
showboats. That's a good move, I think, for the showboats. I think Ryan Willis is a pretty decent quarterback.
Solid move. That's a solid pickup.
So we've talked about it before of USFL players that are now in the XFL that got drafted or that got moved over during training camp and everything like that. I think you're probably going to see a lot of overlap between the two leagues, especially probably the coming week because the XFL has to shrink about almost 20 more players. They got to get down to a 51-man roster from 70.
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, you're gonna see a ton of players, ton of shrink.
So you're going to see a lot of players that are going to get USFL offers, indoor football league offers, and I don't think this broke when we were recording last week. But Eric, did you see that the Arena Football League, the AFL, is back?
Back, baby. It's back. The arena football team.
So I wonder what's going to happen with that in the IFL because the IFL absorbed or transformed. They got a bunch of arena league teams.
Yep.
Like the Iowa Barnstormers, one of my favorite teams. They're now an IFL team.
I miss the old Detroit Drive, dude.
They might be coming back.
I miss the old Detroit Drive.
But the AFL is back. Ryan Willis, good move for him. These players, there are so many options for the players, and I get it. I understand arena football. You're probably not making buku bucks. You're making something. It's probably not great.
You're getting paid currency to play football.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I would take it.
I might try and make it to an arena game this year. Omaha, Nebraska has a team for the indoor football league, and I want to try and make a game.
You know what? Nebraska is one of the states I've never been to, Jim. I have a handful of states
Never.
I have never been to. I've never been to Wyoming. I've never been to
Wyoming either.
I've never been to the two Dakotas.
I've never been to Michigan.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. Best state ever. I've never been to Maine. Actually, I have been to Maine. I've never been to New Hampshire.
I don't think I've been to any of the Northeast.
I've never been to Washington. Those are the states I've never been to.
Do you want to know? Do you know what the Omaha Arena football team's name is?
Corn.
It's the Beef.
Shut up.
The Omaha Beef.
It's the Beef. That's it.
Yeah, the Omaha Beef.
Jesus, what a name.
I fucking love it. I love arena football so much. But let's get into the little meat of it. So we have the USFL schedule. It is out. Week 1, April 15th. The USFL starts. The Stars versus the Showboats is your opening game.
Okay.
Interesting.
Interesting. Obviously, they're saving New Jersey and
That's the night
Birmingham
game. That's the night game on the same day.
for the nightcap,
Yep.
which I think it's the right play.
If you remember last year, they did like a solo broadcast that Saturday where it was just Jersey and Birmingham, and then Sunday they had 3 games.
Yep.
I kind of like that it's like we're already established, we know what we're about. 2-2, just get right into it.
I like the 2-2 idea too. I like how it's basically a double header. You're going to go one right into the other. I'm not a big fan on the Sunday. You have a 12 and you have a 6:30. I don't like that. I'd rather them go boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Just keep it moving. They do that some other games where you have the noon kickoff and then you have the later start. I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, when you're only having 2 games in the day, I kind of like it just as a block.
Yeah.
Where you can just be like, this is my football from. I'm cool if you do both games like earlier, like if you do a 12 p.m. like a noon start, and then you do like a 4:30, or you do like a 4 o'clock. I love that. Or if you do like a 2 and then a 7, if you're gonna do something like that, I like just a big block of football.
And
but
let's be honest, like they're at that time right there when you have a 7. What are you going against? You're going against Sunday Night Baseball. You know what I mean? But that's my thing.
Well, Eric, for week 1, they're going against the XFL.
That is true.
So week one of the USFL, 2:30, Philadelphia Stars, Memphis Showboats. 12:30, we have the Vipers taking on the Houston Roughnecks in the XFL.
What's your setup going to be when they overlap?
So that one, oh God. So by the time they overlap, I might be in my new place by then. Mm-hmm. So if I've moved at this point, I want to at least have 4 screens to work from.
God, that's just a lot of action, man. Are you going to be able to handle that much visual stimulation?
I'll be one-handed doing it, but I'll be having a good time.
Okay.
So you'll have the Vipers versus the Roughnecks. The Guardians versus the Brahmas are at 7, going against the Generals and Stallions. That's what I'm very intrigued by. This is going to be a big, like, end of the season ramp up that we saw with the USFL. That's what the XFL is going to be going through versus the initial push of the USFL. Because like we see it all the time with these spring leagues. Week 1, big, usually big. I want to see what that's going to be like a year 2 for the USFL.
I want to see some promotion from the USFL. That's what I want to see. I want to see like how.
I bet once we get into like within a month, you're going to see a lot more.
Visually, now this is one thing. Just throwing this out here. I think the games that are going to have the most eyes, should be like what's going to have more eyes on Sunday. The noon game. Well, actually, I take that back. You should have one game. How this is lined up? Maybe they're doing it because it's the first week, where it looks like there's going to be fans in the stands, if that makes sense. Because Memphis, Birmingham, both the host cities are there. Those games on Sunday may not be that visually appealing. Watching the stadium, seeing how bare it is.
Well, they're going to have fans in the stands.
You remember Birmingham, though. There was no one there, though.
Yeah, but remember the opening game there was for the Birmingham Generals game. So I think that's a smart thing they're doing. They're having, obviously, the home team there's going to be a home game for one of these teams every week.
But look at I guess my point is in the layout of the 4 games that are going on, I would want one Saturday, one Sunday. I wouldn't want them both to be on one day. I guess that's my point.
Yeah, the only game that you're going to have that won't have a quote unquote real home team is the 4:30 Sunday game. The Maulers Breakers.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, I don't know if either of those ones, because where are the Gamblers playing?
Gamblers are playing in Memphis.
So yeah, neither of the Sunday ones are going to have any home team.
Yeah. But I mean, like, and like, what's the Canton Stadium going to look like on the 23rd, the following weekend? But I mean, like, I like it how they did like the 29th and 30th. Detroit's got a game on Sunday, and then Birmingham's got a game on Saturday. That's, for me, that's what I'd always be doing. I would always have it where
I would always have like the night game of the day. I would try and have the night game of the day always have like a lot of fans in the stands.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting comparison because the XFL will be playing in like all home stadiums, so you'll have like a legit USFL crowd of the showboats taking on like what's Houston going to look like for the Roughnecks.
Yep.
And then the big one, Birmingham versus San Antonio. And if people have been tracking ticket sales, it looks like the San Antonio Brahmas and the St. Louis Battlehawks are going to lead the XFL in fan attendance. So
San Antonio's quietly a football town.
We saw it with the AAF back in 2019. San Antonio will get up for football. So I'm excited to see how San Antonio compares versus like Birmingham crowd wise. That's something I'm gonna be keeping a big eye on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also really excited. So May 13th, if you scroll ahead on the USFL schedule to May 13th, that would be week 5. We got the XFL championship game going on against the Gamblers and the Stallions.
Oof. So, like, why wouldn't the USFL just have one game there, and why wouldn't they do the 3 games there? You know what I mean?
That would be, yeah. Because, like, the championship games are all, like, in my opinion, I think it's the first game and the last game are going to get the most viewer retention no matter what. Like, just as a base. There might be something during the week that causes it to go up or down, but I feel like the first game and the last game get the most.
I agree 100%.
So I'm with you. I would have done, if I'm the USFL, I would have done like an early game on that Saturday and then just done a 3 slate. The other thing I see with the USFL that the XFL did was they sprinkled in a couple Friday games here and there or like a Monday game here.
Mm-hmm.
I get that the USFL's just like, I'm cool with it. Saturday, Sunday, that's your football days. I wouldn't have minded like one game on a Friday here. You know?
Yeah, I like that.
The cool thing with the USFL is they're not going up against anything else. Like the XFL is doing all that in March when they're going up against March Madness.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. But again, like, you got The Rock behind the XFL, so obviously that's going to be the driving force, and there's going to be people there because of him.
I'm excited. 2 weeks away. 2 weeks from tomorrow, I will be in Vegas getting ready to cheer on the XFL for the Vegas Vipers home opening.
Are you going to make the game, or are you just going to wake up like...
I'm going to the game. If I no matter what, I will go to the game blackout drunk if I have to. I'm currently working on getting press badges if I can, which would be sick.
Press? How are you going to do that, dude?
I don't know yet. It's a work in progress.
XFL media credentials.
Yeah, how do you let's look it up on the fly while we talk about other things. But the USFL had a little bit more news going on. So they got 3 coaches. 3 new coaches for the USFL. We got Mike Nolan for Michigan. We got Ray Horton for Pittsburgh. And we got John DeFilippo for New Orleans. So I'm excited to see how these new coaches work out. I think Michigan might have gotten the best new head coach out of the 3.
I've always kind of been a DeFilippo guy.
I like DeFilippo. I think he's a good coach. I'm excited to see how these guys play. I honestly, though, I think the Maulers might have had the best transaction just because getting rid of Kirby Wilson is just such a bonus that the Maulers just might improve to a very competitive team when he's not the head coach. Addition by subtraction, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Before we get into the Orlando Guardians roster, there's one bit of XFL news. One other bit, Eric. I just want your take. The XFL has an app. Go.
Okay.
That's what I said. I downloaded it and I was like, oh, cool. It's an app. It's got a store, news.
It's just there.
It'll be cool. I'm waiting to see. I wonder if you can get tickets through it. If it makes it easier to get tickets and just have it on the app and just store them there.
That would be it. I mean, like, I know, like, I'm a Bucks season ticket holder, and all my stuff for the Bucks was downloaded through their app.
Okay, so you can go to tickets, but all it does. Oh wait, I'm doing it right now. I'm testing it live. Okay, the Vipers still don't have any single game tickets ready, so let me just try the Renegades. Let me see what I get. Nope. Single game tickets are not available yet. They're still just doing their season tickets. Or maybe the app's just being weird. Who knows, but it looks like you will be able to get tickets through the app.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
That's cool. That's cool. Good job, XFL. It's a cool app. It's whatever. Everyone has an app nowadays, it feels like.
I don't
Step your game up, USFL. Where's your app?
They're tanking, dude.
Have you found anything on those media credentials?
From 2020, I found how to get some.
Well, I might be able to adapt that. What'd you do?
I just typed in XFL media credentials.
You son of a bitch. I'm on it. I'll add 2023 to my search.
Here, I found an email. Should you want me to click this?
Oh, wait. I got it right here.
Media at XFL.com.
I'll look that up.
Oh, I got it's the email.
Oh, it's the email?
Yeah.
You just got to email them?
I think so.
Okay. I'll work into that off camera, but for now, Eric, it's time for the meat of the show. You ready to chew on this tenderloin, baby? That is the Orlando Guardians.
I'm ready to chew on the tenderloin, my friend.
So today, and I think this is our final team.
I believe it is.
I think so. We'll go through it off camera, and I'm like 85% sure that this is the last team. So we have the Orlando Guardians, formerly the New York Guardians, head coach Terrell Buckley, OC Robert Ford, DC Tony Carter. Look up their odds real quick. Worst color scheme in the league, in my opinion.
I would concur with your thesis statement.
They look like some discounted Oregon uniforms.
Okay.
Like, no, what did I say? Okay. You remember when Michigan State did those god-awful, like, highlighter green uniforms a few years ago?
Hey, be careful what you say about my boys, dude.
Yeah, but those uniforms sucked.
Those uniforms did suck. Be careful what you say.
That's what this reminded me of. These are worse.
You're not a fan?
I'm not a fan of the uniforms. The logo, I thought, looked better with the New York colors, with the red, silver, and black.
Okay.
The roster, though, intriguing a little bit. So we got the quarterbacks, Quentin Dormady, DeAndre Francois, and newly added Paxton Lynch.
I mean,
I like some big boys.
I think it's Francois.
It's got to be Francois.
Lynch, if they were just to walk in the room and you just look at him with how big of a boy Lynch is, you'd kind of be like, oh shit. But
Francois' big too.
Lynch is a big boy though.
Lynch is very big.
So I think it's going to be Francois. Shifting our attention to the running backs. Martin, stud in the MEAC.
Stud.
Was with the Colts. I'm surprised he wasn't able to be that guy that was just a practice squad guy for the whole season in the NFL. That was a little weird to me.
The
I
thing you see with the XFL though, and that we saw in 2020, you see with the USFL, these guys that play at like HBCUs and whatnot, they shine.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
shine.
I think this guy is going to be the true bell cow. I think he's going to, um,
I know how much you love that too.
Be their guy, bell cow.
You love a bell cow back.
I love the bell cow back. They got Garlington, was with the Chiefs after he transferred to Virginia. He averaged 7.4 yards a carry, but I think this is more of like a gadget type guy. 12 touches max. He can't be the every down runner, if you will, every down back. More of like a gadget type guy. Tariq.
Yeah, they'll bring him in for like a couple plays a game.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like play wide receiver. Little dump passes.
Give Martin a break here and there.
Yep. Looking at the wide receivers, I'm actually surprised. I'm not gonna lie. Rambo's not in the NFL.
I am too.
Oklahoma and Miami. 6'1",
stud at Miami. He was
big
good
play,
at Miami.
Just an absolute big play waiting to happen.
Returns punts too.
Yep.
Watch for that in this league.
They got Stefan. How do you say his name? Goudet. Same as Rambo, big guy, big physical dude. He can high point a ball. They have a couple guys that can just high point a ball in the end zone, which is huge. Tight ends, the tight end is a little tough for me.
Watch out. One of these guys is my boy. One of these guys is he's one of my favorite players. Had him on the show.
Well,
so watch who you're talking about. So
their tight end played at SMU, and it's kind of hard.
That's not the one. So you can say whatever you want about him. You can say whatever you want about Becker.
It's kind of hard because you don't know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? Just because you played in a run and shoot where the tight end wasn't really that big of a thing. I also mentioned they got Dantes Bird, huge experience, going to be
love Bird.
Going to be the adult in the room in the wide receiver, which I think is very, very big.
I think this receiver room for the Guardians is kind of stacked. It's really good.
Yeah, I think Rambo. But how can I say this poetically? When you see someone like Rambo and what he brings to the table, why is he not in the league?
You know what I
mean? Like
sometimes with these guys, you see it where like, yes, they were in college for however long, yes, whatever, but maybe certain players might need a little bit longer to develop.
Okay, that's a good point.
So you'll see them you'll see them like falter in the NFL or not make a training camp or do something like that. And then they get an opportunity with the XFL or the USFL or something like this. And they take that next step. It's being a practice squad guy. And then all of a sudden, yes, the league's a step down from the NFL, but you're playing meaningful football. You're playing in real games on weekends in front of crowds.
Yes, and you're getting reps and everything, which is huge.
Yes.
Offensive line, they have Murphy.
Okay, sorry. Before you get to the offensive line, I just got back to the tight ends. Shout out Tommy Oj, my boy.
You like
tight end of the garage, long snapper of the garage. Go, love that guy.
Murphy, former basketball player on the offensive line. Matthews, can't play both sides of the ball, but they're obviously going to have him play offensive guard. I really feel Baker is brought in as a safety net if Murphy can't play left tackle. Bradley, another big boy, on to play right tackle. Then they have Frazier, who played defensive line in college in the AFL, but They drafted him to play offensive line. Interesting group, real raw group. I think they have some potential, if you will, but I
That's
don't really know if they have the pieces that can make everything fit.
that's kind of where I'm sitting with this O line, where it's a lot of raw, it's a lot of potential built up. I want to see how they mesh together. I think this is a unit you could see struggle early, and maybe like midpoint of the season, you might see something turn around.
Yeah. I think
And
a
this
lot of it
offense,
kind of
this
depends on
offense could drastically transform halfway through the season.
yeah. I think a lot of it kind of depends on Murph, kind of what he is and everything.
I like it. If you remember the Guardians in 2020, best defense in the XFL. Eric, what do we think of this D line?
Got an Auburn kid in Cole, should dominate it. Played with the Finns and the CFL. Willis played with the Gators. Matt Pogan played at TCU, dominated, played with the Sea Dragons in the XFL. They have guys that have played in these spring leagues before and played a very high level of college football. So I really like that from them. I think this is a line that could do really good, and I think it's got some studs.
Yeah, I love love Maponga. Tate out of Georgetown's good too. I think this is a very solid line. I think this is like a top half lineup.
Yeah, I completely agree. Henry, Smith, in the linebacker room. Smith, leader. I think Henry's in line for a good season. I think he kind of dominate. I think he'd be that guy that's kind of going to be all over the field for them. In terms of their DB is,
I think speaking of linebackers though, I think getting T. Gray Scales out of Indiana is a pretty nice move too.
Yeah, that's a solid get too.
Guy was a stud at Indiana. Played in the Bengals for a little bit, practice squad, but he was also really good on the Gamblers last year. Remember that.
Holmes played understanders for the DBs at Georgia Tech. 6'1", really a high ceiling guy. This could be a guy that could be something in this league.
He's one of the guys that I think this is a perfect opportunity for him because small college guy, HBCU guy, jumps in the XFL, balls out, and then I wouldn't be surprised to see him on a practice squad or like a low, like maybe a travel roster guy on an NFL team next year. Potentially.
Oh, yeah. Especially with that size, he could definitely do that.
Oh, yeah.
They got Lee, a versatile guy in there. DB is interesting group of secondary guys coming in there. Holson went to Ferris State University. I really feel that if he went to a Division I school, he would be in the league. Wiggins, another potential guy. I think there's some potential here in this back four to really ball out.
Hey, Eric, I want to hear you pronounce the Mississippi State back.
I'm good.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it, though.
Where's the name?
Do you see it?
No.
There's two backs from Mississippi State. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post the name in the private chat. I want to hear you. How do you pronounce that?
Schmitherman.
I like that. I was either gonna do that or I was gonna just really lay on the sh and be like Schmitherman, like a good old James Bond Sean Connery. Marie Schmitherman. I think this defense can be pretty goddamn good again.
Some of these defenses are pretty built to be pretty solid. But I think there's a lot of questions like what is Holmes? What does this defensive line look like? It's a high ceiling team, but we don't really know what these guys' floor is.
I think both offense and defense, this could be like a very high variance team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love DeAndre Francois. I love the receivers they have. O-line, potential pretty darn good. But I want to see it all come together. I think
Yeah.
they got a lot of really good potential.
They got a ton. They got an absolute ton.
This is going to be my potential team of the year. So in 2020, it was the Dragons. This year, I'm going to say it. The Orlando Guardians are my potential team. I'm going to bring that up every week.
They're your potential team of the day.
They're either living up to their potential or disappointing.
That kind of sounds like me in my dating life.
That sounds like me in every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
Special teams, pretty fine. They're fine.
I'm a little concerned about their punter, though.
Which is fair in this league.
You know, looking back at his college, it was kind of, how can I say this? Average. Kicker could be the best one. I think the kicker does have a leg. And in these leagues,
love Borregales, dude. I love this guy.
I think he could be someone, but I'm a little worried about their punter, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the punter does worry me.
I think, but I mean, here's the thing. We're looking at stuff. We don't know how these kids are going to react being in this league. We're just looking at what they've done in college. Now you're not in college, you're trying to make it, that pressure's on. How is that going to look? What is going to happen with these kids?
I will say, in relation to this being a high variance offense and defense, having a kicker like Borregales really helps kind of lift the floor, where you don't need to worry as much about getting points.
For sure.
I'm kind of surprised he's not in the NFL.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, NFL
kicking's so weird. I said the same thing with Taylor Russolino. He's on the Renegades. He was a stud for the Battlehawks in 2020, and then had a couple stints with the Broncos, and then it only takes if you're a new kicker, it only takes 2 bad weeks.
That's it.
And you're done. There's not a long leash.
Or it could be Jason Hanson, who just plays in the league for 21 years and is just a machine.
Well, yeah, when you're a machine. Guardians sitting at 5-1.
No, that's too low for me.
So, Eric, I assume you're not touching any of the teams 5 or under.
No teams 5 or under.
What about 550? There's one team that's at 550.
I would do the 550.
Okay, so the 3 teams you have to choose from, according to San Antonio Brahmas plus 550, Houston Roughnecks 6-1, and DC Defenders plus 650.
I would take the Roughnecks.
I would also take the Roughnecks. But also, I don't know. I've looked at 3 different books. Mm-hmm. I get 3 different odds because right now I'm looking at another book right here, DraftKings. They got the Guardians at plus 750.
Okay.
And the Roughnecks at plus 750.
So there's value.
Shop around because you can find the same team. I had a friend that had, what was it? I think Chase got the Battlehawks at 450 or 5-1.
Right now, can I say bet online?
You can say whoever.
The Guardians are plus 800 and the Battlehawks are plus 475.
There's value. Shop around these leagues. Nobody knows.
Yeah, no one knows.
This is the most variance of a future I've ever seen.
And you said the Roughnecks, right? And we're at
on Bovada, they're 6-1.
Bet online, the Roughnecks are 4-1.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Literally all over the place.
It's insane. So NFL this Sunday, literally 6 days later, XFL begins.
So what is it gonna be like for you on the XFL
What do you
the
mean?
morning of? The morning of. Like, let's paint the picture. How are you gonna be like a kid on Christmas Day?
Yeah, so 2020, when the fledgling XFL gym channel started, I was giddy. I had butterflies, and I was live tweeting the whole thing. I think I'm going to live stream the game, at least the first game, maybe both games. And I'm going to be giddy. I'm going to be nostalgic. I'm going to go get a Bud Light seltzer. I'm going to go shotgun it. I'm going to live life to the fullest. And I'm going to watch both games, and I'm going to just have a smile on my face for 24 hours. My sleep schedule will die because I'm going to try and do something. I did it with the USFL a little bit, but in 2020 with the XFL, I did the previews and the recaps, like bam, bam, bam. I was staying up till like 4 in the morning to get videos done and then going to work the next day. So I'll be staying up till like 2, 3, 4 o'clock, going to work at 6:30. It's going to be, Mondays are going to be brutal.
Hey, buddy, you're a winner. That's why you do that stuff.
Mondays are going to be brutal, baby. But that's what we're about. Eric, I feel like since this is our last episode before the Super Bowl, this is a football show. Any takes on the Super Bowl? Doesn't have to be a winner or whatever, because I don't really give a shit. Eagles -1.5. I don't really care I don't care what the take is with that. Any bet you like in the Super Bowl?
Dude, I have a lot I like, buddy.
Give me one. Just one. I want one.
Under 24.5 for the first half.
Love that. I love a good first half under, baby.
Love it.
I'll be lockstep with you there. Tune in next week. It's the full season hype video. This will be we're going to be previewing games. XFL games next week.
Which sounds crazy. Are there gonna be lines out?
I bet there will be. I bet that Tuesday there'll be lines out.
Jeez. Okay.
Whew. I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it. Eric, where can the people find you?
At ETOF21, at ETOF21 Sports on the gram, YouTube, and the TikTok.
He's pumping out those talks, bro.
Dude, I'm trying to. I think I'm shadow banned right now, but I'm trying.
Fuck you, TikTok. Fuck you, China. You know where to find me. XFL Gym, all over. I don't know if I'm shadow banned anywhere or not. I probably am. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.